welcome to Talking Skritt. I'm your host, Jim. I always want to launch into Deo's intro every single time I do this, but it's a quieter show this week. It's just me and Arlie, where you can hear her roar if she chooses to use it. That's a no. Um, but the topics this week are they seem light. We're talking about rewards in and out of game. We're talking about new retail partners so you can get new merch. But I think in a deceptively small line is a balance patch incoming. And no theme song, Mac, because I cut that in post. Because I don't have all of the setup to run that all together. I'm not going to hum the intro. Tavik wanted me to sing the outro to Vote to Kick for the longest time because I did it the first time.
That's amazing.
But the first bit we've got here is where should the good-looking stuff be? And that's the link here, but I'm going to drop the Reddit link in chat. That's not the right. That's my... I don't want to block element on that. I was gonna ad block the chat window.
I guess the first step in that is how do we define good looking stuff?
Yeah, and that's the problem I tend to have with a lot of arguments like this. The thread is people arguing about stuff that should be in the game and not in the gem store. Opinions change now that we have more open and entry level raids. So the strike missions, if the strike missions are supposed to be like the intro to raid mechanics, which there are apparently shoulder pieces from the strike mission. I wasn't aware of that. I haven't even had a chance to do the strike mission yet. We only just finished the prologue last night. There is a char specific helmet from Meta Chest. Could this be where they throw in mount skins and other gem store items? What about gem store items that we have seen as precedent in game? That there's a Halloween outfit that you can get in game. All of the legendary back pieces have gliders attached to them. Older gem store items being droppable / earnable, especially ones that aren't in the gem store or never show up in the gem store and don't show up in the Black Lion statuette shop. So
I think chat has a good suggestion that instead of good or bad, you could measure it by it's harder to make in terms of like what takes more dev time to create.
Well, I mean, at the same time, the stuff that is given to players, like it could have been an asset for an enemy that they're like, let's not waste this and give it out as like a gem store skin. So that's like return on investment. Like we paid for this thing to be made. This asset is not going into the game where we created it to be.
Right.
But we can flip that and put that on the gem store and make money that way. So I don't even know if harder to make is a good metric.
Right.
But I think going back is like the good looking stuff. Like I go back to my Revenant's current transmog setup, and I honestly like it, and I don't think I'm going to be changing it, is one of the default blindfolds and like blue and green gear. Because I like it. It looks like plain, and that's what I wanted it to be. So
that's what I was going to say. My Rangers look that I've had forever is one of the skins that they had way back when the game first came out. It was like Primeval or something. I don't know.
Primeval is one of the old armor sets, but that's
it's
heavy,
like a vest and like it was whatever the medium version of that was. I can't remember.
Viper, I think.
Okay, it's like a nice vest and like there's pants with like lacing on the side and stuff. It's very like tame, but like for me, I love it and I'm not changing it. And I use the carapace armor a lot, and again, same kind of thing. Like I like it, I'm not changing it. I understand from the the point of the people who get into like the fashion wars aspect and always want something new and change around to and whatever. Um, but at the same time, like it's kind of like arguing that the super special sparkle mounts should all be like free in the game and not sold on the gem store. Those kind of things, the flashy things, although they're not everybody's things, they're pretty much a guaranteed people will spend money on this kind of thing. So
Yeah. And Mac, you have a point. Like, how do you quantify good looking? You don't, because that's 100% subjective. I have characters that, like, much like Arlie's, I haven't changed their looks for years at this point, despite having a glut of transmutation charges.
I know.
Thanks to the fact that I PvP'd, and like I haven't played PvP in months, and well, see, that's a different thing, Mac. Attaching a price to it is different from quantifying good looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say because, oh, what was it? There was something they came out with not that long ago that was, I think it was a 2K mount skin, and I remember looking at it and being like, "Oh my god, that's gaudy as all hell. I would never use that." But I understand why it's a 2K mount because it's very like crazy and like that's the thing
Was it
that
the Peacock Raptor?
yes, that was it. I was like, not for me, but I can see why they're charging for it like that because it's something people would spend money on.
Yeah, I tend to think Netco is more onto something with something being rarer, being more tied to price. I mean, the 2K mount skins, they're out and then they get pulled. So, and then the mount loot boxes have kind of a detractor because there are some really good looking mounts in some of those.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that you do not get to pick is why they have the premium price on it. So
right.
You can buy like at 3x the price in order to choose a mount, but people don't buy the Ninetails Jackal because it's rare. Yeah, I mean, that's why I bought it for my wife, because she looked at that and she made a face.
I did too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you also bought it. And the 2K mount skins are kind of at the wrong end of talking about stuff here, because I've talked before about how those are basically the best example of premium shop stuff,
right?
Because they are priced prohibitively. You have to really like it to want to buy it.
Right.
It's not, this isn't the kind of like, unless someone has a problem with the collecting issue that we've discussed previously on the show, I don't see somebody buying a mount skin just because it exists.
Yeah.
And I think when people mostly talk fashion wars, they're not talking about mount skins, they're talking about armor and weapon skins.
Right.
So,
and that there is a segment that just want like all of the armor skins and all of the whatever, so that whenever they want, they can just use any look that they want. Like,
yeah.
There are people that that's the point of playing the game for, which is totally fine. But it does mean that, you're going to have some various ways that you have to go about attaining those things.
Yep, either via wallet or by, turning gold into gems on a semi-regular basis and just having a stockpile. But I don't know. Would I like to see a bit better conversion of stuff in game? Yes. I still think that glider skins more than just the legendaries. Like, I think there should be a few more glider skins that should be acquirable in the game, just literally in the game, and that's it. And I also think there should be some mount skins in the game. But on top of that, I don't have too much of a problem with the monetization of Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember we talked about that graph on previous shows where the guy took the stuff in game versus the stuff that is in the gem store, and I think it was season 4 was a little wonky, but other than that, everything has been relatively even.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. I was just reading the thing that you had linked,
Mm-hmm.
and the person in this is saying it would be nice to have some exclusive PvE content appearance armor. And I thought that the legendary changey shifty armor, that you only got that skin if you got it through PvE, and you didn't get the fancy changey shifty thing if you got it through PvP or world versus world.
The like transforming armor, the transforming
Uh-huh.
legendary armor is exclusive raid content.
Okay.
100% raid content. PvP and WW, it's literally just you upgrade the item to legendary. So you
Okay.
just gain the ability to stat swap. You don't really change. I don't think you change the skin or anything on it. You don't unlock a new skin. It's just that
Okay.
is a piece of legendary gear now.
So that would be an example of armor that, or armor skins you can only get in PvE content then. So it exists.
Well, see, that's the thing, Mac, is you can get legendary armor via farming. But
Hmm.
the transforming stuff, that's raid exclusive.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where they actually do have a niche thing. And he's talking about like a PvE exclusive armor, the Mist Shard armor from Dragonfall.
Hmm.
You have to do specific things, like
Right.
we have to get a group together for the champion nature elemental, because apparently nobody ever fights that damn thing in Dragonfall, because Krista
Aw.
wants to get the chest piece for the medium armor because she thinks it looks cool.
Oh, I have to look at that.
So, and literally, I've done every other champion, which most of that champion list is just do the run after fighting Kralkatorrik,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just the nature elemental for me. I think she has
Oh,
like
cool.
3 or 4 more on top of that, but it's like there's and then before that at Thunderhead Keep there were the weapons, the Dragon's Blood weapons,
Mm-hmm.
which were 2 sets of weapons because you
Yeah.
had the exotic set and then the ascended set.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of confused about that person's point, because they said that they wanted PvE exclusive gear, and I was like, I feel like we have been getting some of that. Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we have it. I think one of the problems that people see is that the blog, like we get blog posts every time something new shows up in the gem store. So
Oh,
what?
he clarifies later. He says, what I mean by exclusive is getting lucky and it dropping, or after a certain number of successes in the content, you've earned enough currency to buy what you wanted to an NPC, like the dungeon tokens for the armor that you got from them, basically.
That's basically what we have.
Yeah.
Hey, QED. Like,
And I remember like being, you remember like the annoyance and frustration I went through trying to get the precursor for my dreamer before you could craft it. That, like, I was going for it all the time and trying, and like I think it was like 3 years of playing and I didn't get it, and I only ended up getting it because it was gifted to me. So like I don't I will never make an argument for more RNG, like loot things like
yep.
that. I feel like that's the worst thing.
Well,
Like,
like
sure, you get the yay, I got it when you got it, but until you get it, it feels terrible.
the frustration of it all the way through. Yeah. Well, it's just the blooming Mist Shard armor, the upgrade, the ascended version.
Mm-hmm.
You have to complete events to unlock the base version, and then you have to gain map currency in order to buy that version.
Right.
So again, what this guy's saying is this is what we have.
Right. Oh, the luminous gear too, the upgrade for the carapace armor that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was a small collection achievement.
Mm-hmm. Well, a collection achievement for each piece.
Yeah. If not for randomness, you'd be out of work. Mac, kind of. I mean, I don't think we would be here without randomness, but I think that's getting a little like above the concept of a video game news podcast.
Is what Neko just said accurate? Because I haven't spent like any time in the newest map. I've been so busy. I haven't delved into any of that stuff.
Last map is a bad as an example of bad. I don't know. I haven't spent much time on Grothmore Valley. You need to do 4 metas that are an hour long. You get a rare chance for a unique skin that is so rare only 5 or 6 people got it. I mean, that's one of the problems that we have with honestly, it seems like there's a lot to do in Grothmore Valley. Mm-hmm. Granted, me and my wife literally spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours in it last night, just enough to get the story done
right
before today, so I didn't get, have to deal with spoiler issues of skirting around stuff. But I mean, people want replayable content, but they also don't want replayable content. Like grinding for something, if you get it immediately, like if you have a hard set way to get it, the content has a finite lifespan. And at that point, people are just in the map because it's the latest map and it's the one they haven't done the achievements for yet. So I don't know. Like I can't really comment on Grothmore Valley. But Dragonfall, I think, is well designed when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I just wish the you know how there's the boards in Grothmore Valley where you click and it tells you what the next event is. Mm-hmm. I thought that would show all the events, because each camp has their 4 events, big events that happen, but there's all kinds of like little other events that happen that are not related, and like those things pop up. There's like, driving around the cars and crashing into each other. There's the chef thing. Like there's a bunch of other little things in there. All of those counted towards the progressing, like you needed to do 4 events to progress the story. But every time I clicked on the board, it would just show me this one place. And I was like, nothing's here. Meanwhile, over there, this thing has started. So I wish it was more clear, like instead of like being an event bulletin board or something saying like camp bulletin board or something to indicate that it was only going to show those 4 things as opposed to all the other things,
Right. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about Grothmore since I haven't had all the time to explore it. And I didn't even know there was a vault, so now I have something else. Maybe that would explain the whole something Connor
right
token that I got in my inventory last night that
yes.
I have no idea what it's for.
If when you do each one of the camp events all the way to completion, at the end you get the key, and then when you have all 4 keys you can get it in the vault. And I think somebody said there was a jumping puzzle in there too. I haven't gone back and done that, so
I actually kind of liked the one of the vistas. It felt like an old school jumping puzzle because you were disallowed your mount.
Yes.
And it just...
I also like in the Flame Legion area, they have a whole thing of carry the flame up to the top.
Yeah,
I like that. I was like, it's not a hard jumping puzzle. It just gets a little hard at points because you're trying to rush.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I appreciated that. That had a very like release Guild Wars 2 feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is, what feels better? Loot tables, like rare loot drop, or guaranteed progression?
I don't know. I think it should be a mix, and it kind of like, personally, I kind of like how Guild Wars 2 does it, where most of the time if I want something I can work towards it, and like anytime I have, remember, a small time to play, most of the time I can do something that will tick off one of the collection boxes or something. I like that. Having the RNG too is cool because, like I said, when you want it, when you get it, it's like, yay, you know, it's exciting. But I wouldn't want it to be more balanced towards RNG. Like that's what WoW is, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like Guild Wars 2 has a good balance there, and that where most of the time you can just work towards things in the time that you have, and you'll eventually get it. And I like that a lot.
Yeah. Um, and wow, Deo actually broke this out into a whole bunch of stuff. In favor of rare drop loot tables, you know exactly where to go to farm. Basically, the reverse of original precursors, i.e., I want this cool skin. The beginning is somewhere in the world. Could be from Shadow Behemoth or a beetle, but you know where to go to get it. You just have to put in the time to get it.
Right.
Easier to meet like-minded players. If it's in a strike mission, you're more likely to meet someone who's interested in that. So, okay, cool. You can expand the social aspect of it. Makes you try content out of your comfort area. So if you figure something only comes from one part of the game, and you don't usually do that, you kind of have to do that.
Which could be a positive or a negative. That one
Right.
goes both ways.
And then people talking about in favor of, you know, Gold the Gem, which is unique to Guild Wars 2. I don't know of many other games that have the ability to buy premium currency from within the game.
Right.
True freedom of choice when progressing towards a desired item. You can go anywhere and earn gold, or, you know, go to the best farm, quote unquote. You are not harmed by diminishing returns. You can go to another area and still work towards your item. And you can play the content that you want. Like, you don't have to leave your comfort zone. So, yeah, QED does bring up a point. The ability, the cap on things.
Yeah.
Like putting some kind of upper limit on how long you can attempt to do a thing.
Right.
I can see as being incredibly frustrating.
Yep. I mean, but all of them do it. Like even in WoW, you can only reset a dungeon so many times before it's like you're done for a bit.
That is less to do with anti-player, and it's more
Fatigue.
anti-mental health problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, QED, you're right. You should be able to play how you want, but it's more of a CYA clause.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who have died playing video games. And those, you remember the Guild Wars 1 warning of, you've been playing for an hour. You've been playing for 2 hours. You've been playing for 3 hours. Maybe you should take a break. You know, stuff like that. That's, I'll admit, I've heard it usually comes out of Asian markets. Because there are people who will play to exhaustion.
And beyond sometimes.
And the backlash can hit the companies. So putting a kind of soft limit on people doing something is more to keep people from, like, you're right, QED.
The issue comes in where games, there's a whole thing about games and being addictive, and the addictive like style of gameplay, and the trying to get the dopamine rush of getting that drop that you really want is considered an addictive loop. So like if you don't do anything to be like, hey, you know, this, maybe you should stop now, it is actually kind of a problem. And all they need is one person to have something really bad happen here in the States, and all hell will break loose. Like, seriously.
And
it will be insanity.
It's definitely, like, I totally understand. Like, everybody here, we all realize that if we decide to sit down and play a game and not eat for 3 days, and we suffer severe health problems or possibly die, yeah, that's on us. But the second that hits media, companies know that. Like, companies know how that's going to be treated in the media. So those soft limits, those soft caps on things, diminishing returns on stuff that eventually come to what is effectively a hard cap, those are implemented to keep those things from happening, because otherwise the game companies are going to have to bear the brunt of the PR issue. So, I mean, every time someone brings up the think about the children argument, we all know
Right.
that no one is not thinking about the children, and it's just an appeal to, I can't remember the name of the debate tactic. I think it's appeal to emotion, but like we all know that's like a really cheap tactic to get people on your side, but like
Right.
the game companies just don't want to deal with it, so that's why they put these things in.
It's kind of like the same thing we've seen unfolding with vaping right now, with everybody freaking out about the deaths related to that. And there have been some laws passed where in certain states you can't vape anymore because of this. It's the same process would go out. And they're just, covering their asses.
And Mac demonstrates, when you use the logical response to that argument, how that gets turned against you.
Yep.
But when you have a chance to get the new Char helmet, 1 in 100,000 or even less, you can only try once per day. Then there's no point of even trying. You can try each day till the end of your life and probably won't get it. Look, if enough people get it, that they want the rarity to be there, then that's where the Guild Wars 2 team wanted it to be.
Yep.
If they want more people to get it, then they will put in a system that will allow better progress to it.
Can you only do once per account, or is it once per character?
I'm gonna guess it's once per account per day.
Yeah.
Because that tends to be the way stuff like this once per account. Yeah, I figured.
Okay. Yeah.
But summarize. We were talking about the original topic of this is the good stuff should be in game. One, we have questions about what the good stuff is for Fashion Wars, because like I said at the top of the topic, I have a character in blue and green skin stuff and I like it. And Arlie was talking about having the same, like we talk about having the same stuff on our characters for years. Right. So
but I should throw it out, I'm not a fashion person at all. Like, if you've met me in life, I usually have no idea what I'm wearing. It's usually a t-shirt and jeans, and I haven't paid attention to what they are. So like,
well, that's because
I'm not a fashion person.
That's because you already have a leg up on the game because of the human female meta.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, generally speaking, I do kind of agree that there is a discussion to be had about the balance of RNG versus guaranteed progression in some way. But I do think that there has been a decent balance for it. I don't like if this 1 in 100,000 Char helm, if that's really the drop rate of it, that's what's going to drive the rarity, is just having it. So, I mean, that's kind of part of the prestige of the item, is how rare it is, and that's by design. So,
I mean, it's not that bad. Like, once per day, like, dude, we're farming mounts in WoW that drop from raids, and that's once per week. And they have the same kind of drop weight, so
yeah,
I guess not all that sympathetic.
I was so very spoiled by mount drop rates in WoW because of the Raven Lord. A friend of mine's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight the Druid boss for the day. You want to come with? Yeah, sure. Raven Lord drops. Oh yeah, I already have it. You want it? Yeah, sure, thanks. And he made it like I had no idea how rare it was. That's a different problem than QED. Like, it's these soft caps are to prevent people from getting to that place in the first place, not to deal with people who are already there.
I mean, I'm just saying that just because you think the Ninetales is good and I liked it, it doesn't mean everybody has universally agreed that the Ninetales is a good skin. There are people who hated it. Just like with the cat mander tags, there are people who hate those. There are people who hate the cat head things and the bunny ears. Like, I love those. To me, they're good, but like a lot of people don't like them. Like, it's just, good is completely in the eyes of beholder.
There's no accounting for taste. But that's getting into the I love how there's like two arguments in here, is like what is good stuff, and then also the two different theories of getting items is like lot of grinding versus random drop rate. So I don't know. I think both of them have a use in the toolkit. I'm not going to go back to the, what is good, because subjectivity is
Right.
subjective. Um,
I mean, like I said, I think it depends. Like Guild Wars 2 to me in general has, like, maybe not originally, but where it's evolved over time, and especially since they put in the collections, um, has set itself up to be the MMO where there's always something you could work towards. There's always something you could be working on making or building or whatever, and less about the RNG. And it's good that there are some things that are RNG, but I don't think they're going to go more towards the RNG, because that's not the space they really seem to want to occupy. They want to be the MMO where people can step in and out of it, not feel left behind of their friends, not feel like they never get to get this rare drop because they don't play that often. Like they want you to be always be able to feel like you can work on something. That's their goal.
I mean, honestly, their majority of the, not falling behind your friends comes from the lack of level cap increase, but
right.
That's another conversation. And despite my inability to segue, we were talking about Grothmar Valley. Lots of reward tracks added with the prologue. It turns out that the Icebrood Saga reward track is bugged.
Oh no.
It's resetting daily.
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
It's not the Grothmar Valley track. It's the Icebrood Saga track.
Oh.
Let me see if I think it might be both the WVW and PvP ones. No, WVW one.
Okay.
Resets it daily.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yes, and Krista also got lit on fire for an hour.
What? How did that happen?
So we were doing the effigy ceremony at the Flame Legion camp, and the debuff of fire. She got hit with that for an hour after the event ended, and it killed her. And we were trying to res her, but
and she was still taking the damage.
It didn't remove the debuff when she was fully dead. She
my
waypointed and then immediately died because it didn't remove it. She had to relog.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a cool event, but I mentioned it last week. You weren't here, but I feel like they could have been clearer with the instructions in that event, because figuring out how to do each part of it was not sensical. And especially the end of getting the fire, like imbuing your weapons with the fire, the natural thing is to think the brazier we just lit. Why would we not use that? We just went through this whole thing of lighting it. Why are we not using it? But no, these whirlwinds of fire appear, and that's what you're supposed to use. It's weird.
Yeah. But and then here's another little blip. Ireneo popped on. He posted on the forums. It's just a little thing, just the massive balance patch for next week.
Woo!
Including the much awaited death magic rework for necromancers and the tactics rework for warriors.
Is this the one? So wait, did the Hollowsmith nerf go through already, or is that part of this? It's something about they're making the if you overheat they're making it more penalizing, basically.
There was a change to solar focusing. No, the burn on overheat, solar focusing lens, that got buffed.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's no other change to.
Right. I was talking. So that's going to be in next week. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah. I wasn't clear on that. One of my friends was complaining about it.
Corona bursts got reduced.
Corona burst.
That's the 3.
You shake a bottle and it explodes.
No, it's the pulsing, the Hollowsmith pulse that gives you barrier. So that got hit in PvP All right, the might gain, reduced might gain in WW to the same amount in PvP, reduce the damage of the skill by 20% in PvP and WW.
Yeah.
And then also holographic shockwave had its range halved in all content, which
like he was also upset about that, but I'm sorry, like having a 600-yard range is kind of crazy.
I was always really shocked at the just incidental CC I'd throw at people in PvP on my holos.
Right.
Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah. And like one of the points that he made that I think is actually valid is, especially in PvP, overheating. If you accidentally overheated, it was pretty much a death sentence already, because like if you're fighting against other people, and then you're locked out of a lot of your good stuff for a bit, and you take damage.
Tool belt skills now. Like, you just flat out lose your tool belt skills on overheat.
Yep. So like he was like, sometimes you could survive if you were in a hard fight, if you weren't in a hard fight or something, but generally you would die anyways. So like I get his point on why that's going to be a particularly problematic nerf in PvP specifically.
Yeah. And Mac, to answer your question, no Soul Beast specific changes at all. It's literally all Ranger weapon changes.
You heard it here. Soul Beast is perfect. It needs no changes.
I don't know her. Who is she? Why is she on the show? The interesting thing I think about Ranger is the changing of the 2 and the 3. Let's see here. It's Hornet Sting is now the 3 skill, so the jump backwards is now its own button.
Why are they doing that?
Well, hang on. So they moved Monarch's Leap, the jump forward, is now the 2. Hornet Sting is now the 3, and if it lands, it recharges Monarch Leap. After you use Hornet Sting or Monarch Leap, it flips to the old 3 skill that was the evade poison hit.
Oh, okay.
And they increase the damage of that evade poison hit by 200%. And then it also doubles its damage if it hits a target that is Serpent Strike. Where was it? No, Stalker's Strike is, I think, the 3rd hit in the attack change. And in the attack chain.
Yeah. I think
so. The 3rd hit in the sword attack chain increased the damage by 200%, now deals double damage, and inflicts 2 additional poison stacks if it hits a foe with a movement impairing condition.
Yeah, it's going to screw me up a lot. Like, switching those 2 around, like, I have so much muscle memory with that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, for people who are longtime Ranger main hand sword users, this is going to kind of screw things up.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Mac, is splitting those movement skills apart.
Yeah, no, I think overall it's a good change. I just really wish they could have done it without flipping them, because, oh my God.
Yeah. Other things, minor change to long range shot, reduced the minimum damage of the skill by 14% and the maximum damage by 11% in WW only. So I think the minimum damage drops for everything and the maximum is dropped in WW, but I could be wrong. It could be all WW changes. I think that's mostly just because longbow is a 1500 range,
right?
Fairly meaty hit on an auto attack. So, and then also the one thing QED and I were talking about on Wednesday a lot is Greatsword has been changed. One, in the 3rd hit in the auto attack change no longer evades. Oh. But if it connects, it gives you 15 endurance.
Okay.
So it gives you evade by making you dodge faster or giving you access to more dodges. The counterattack, you can no longer throw your sword for the cripple anymore. You will now hold the sword up and block for the duration. If you take the hit, the flip over skill is now kick, and you choose when the kick happens.
Oh.
Or you can just not kick at all, and you can just hold the sword up and block.
Yeah.
The kick now hits 3 targets. So it's fantastic usability on.
It's like a roundhouse kick on 3 people.
Honestly, I'm hoping it's like some kind of crazy flip roundhouse kick, but
yeah.
Like
Probably not,
some
but that would
serious
be cool.
like I want to see some serious Chuck Norris shit coming out of that.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty good.
Like jump and spin in a circle with your leg out.
Yeah. So are there any other trait changes that like you really like were interested in?
No, it was mainly the Hollowsmith stuff and the Ranger stuff. Surprisingly, rest of it is like
I didn't even realize I made that joke. Ah.
Nah.
Ugh. I'm in pain now. I hurt myself with that joke. Okay, so Arlie, this might affect you. Do you use death magic on your necromancer?
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that.
So
it's been a while.
You're getting a new class mechanic.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet. I should have looked at that.
So now you get something called Death's Carapace, which gives you 20 toughness per stack to a maximum of 30 stacks.
Wow.
And so you can gain a maximum of 600 toughness from this.
Yeah.
Which, considering Necromancer is a high base vitality or a high base HP profession, you know, that's pretty solid. All Death's Carapace lasts for 10 seconds, except for stuff from Flesh of the Master, which is the toughness per minion.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stuff is... it's gonna, like, I honestly think you're gonna see tankier Reapers in PvP and WW. But that makes Reaper even more vulnerable to CC.
It's true.
Because now, in order to make the Reaper more vulnerable, you CC them, which prevents them from gaining Death's Carapace stacks.
Right.
Which is, honestly, that's the...
it's a trade-off.
Well, so I'm going to pull from League of Legends experience. League of Legends, they went through a period of trying to reclassify champions, and they came up with the Juggernaut class of characters. Bless you, dear. Juggernauts have low mobility, but high tankiness and high damage. Basically, the old Ret Paladin, if I get to you, I will kill you kind of thing. That, I think, is probably the best place they want to put Reaper, because you know, they want the old horror movie monster kind of deal.
Yeah, the impending doom kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that allow a Reaper to shrug off.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, QED is sacrificing Spite. Like, I was thinking Spite, Death Magic, Reaper, but then you lose blood, so you lose a lot of survivability.
Yeah.
So I honestly think you're right. Like, you can go full tank Reaper and still have damage just by having, what is it? The one Reaper trait that gives you crit for Vuln. A decimate defenses, I think. I can't remember. But there are trade-offs, and I think Death's Carapace is solid. Honestly, Soul Reaping Gem, not Blood. Blood is Scourge. I like Blood anyway. Too bad.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to jump back in PvP and try that out, because that'll be interesting. I forgot, it like totally slipped my mind they were doing that.
Now, the other thing is, if anybody ever wanted to play a medic warrior, Tactics got you covered. So, one, Warhorn, hyper buffed on warrior. You're right, QED. And losing out on the damage is probably for the best, especially since they decided to give Reapers permanent quickness.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
'Cause it's awesome.
I mean, it's awesome, but it really doesn't fit the whole impending doom thing now, does it?
I think it's fair since they won't delete Deadeye.
That's a vendetta that's never going to leave you, huh? Oh, no. I forgot one other thing. This is kind of big. It's only one bullet point. Scourges will no longer proc their effects around themselves if they have a shade up.
Oh.
So either you have no shades up and the Scourge effects proc around you, or you have shades up and they no longer proc around you.
Interesting.
So now the Scourges don't get the old Mesmer thing of you always proc shatters on yourself kind of deal.
Right, yeah.
Which means that I can now run into melee with a Scourge and cause them to freak the fuck out.
Yes.
And not feel like I'm going to die for doing it.
That's awesome.
I honestly think it's a weakness that Scourges need, because
Yes.
zone control is something they need to be very aware of, because that's kind of the design of the profession of the elite spec. So
Right.
A+ change that.
Yeah, that's a good change. I hate scourges.
It's just being able to always have
Frustrating.
their life force effects active on themselves, regardless of anything else, felt more like free power than anything. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. Warrior, like the two big things is the tactics rework and basically the Warhorn rework. Charge, the Warhorn 4, now removes only movement impairing conditions. It increases the damage of affected allies' next 2 attacks by 25%, 10% in WW, for 8 seconds, in addition to its previous effects. It increased the swiftness duration from 10 to 15 seconds, and it is now a blast finisher. So Warhorn 4, blast finisher. Call to Arms, Warhorn 5, has been renamed Call to Valor. Removed unnecessary unblockable skill effect. This skill now removes 3 conditions from affected allies instead of specific conditions. It now also applies Barrier in addition to Vigor.
Oh.
It is also a blast finisher. Warriors have blast finishers on their Warhorn.
Nice.
And then in the crazy thing with the Warhorn rework is that the new tactics trait line, in the Adept tier, Roaring Reveille. This new trait increases the number of targets for Warhorn skills from 5 to 10. So warriors have raid buffs. And causes Warhorn skills to grant an additional boon. Fury for charge and resistance for call to arms. It also grants an additional 120 concentration. Yeah.
Okay.
Buff heal warrior support
Yeah.
is a thing. Now, the big deal with the tactics line, the rework is a new ability for warriors. First minor trait, first minor trait, marching orders. This new trait grants soldiers focus every 15 seconds. This effect is expended when hitting with a burst to grant 3 stacks of might for 15 seconds to all allies within a range of 300. So now you have, and there are a bunch of traits in there that splash out, like in the Adept here, Soldier's Comfort. This new trait heals nearby allies when Soldier's Focus activates. Empower allies. In addition to its previous effects, this trait also increases the range of the radius of Soldier's Focus to 600. There's another. I think there's another one. The one Adept, the Grandmaster minor trait is not properly, like Mending Might. This trait now heals you when you grant might to an ally.
Ooh.
I'm going to assume that's similar to the one Guardian trait that you heal when you buff an ally.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bonkers because, I don't know, maybe now your warrior in a raid is your tank and your might gen. Might makes right. Yeah, that's another one. Because that one gives you, when you apply might, it heals you and gives you endurance. But a support warrior just got a lot more interesting, I think. So I'm kind of looking forward to how the numbers work with this.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're willing to do such sweeping changes. Heck, there's, what was it? Vigorous shouts. It no longer grants adrenaline on shouts. Instead, it grants healing power equal to 13% of your power. Healing warrior, which just okay.
I feel like, I don't know, like if you have a warrior that's healing, it feels like it's starting to encroach upon what a guardian is, you know?
Well, I don't think it's ever going to come to the same healing output as what a guardian can do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it's kind of interesting to see all of the changes. I know we were discussing a core warrior build in for team fighting in PvP in chat on Wednesday, which should be super interesting to see. Anything that enables core, like a pure core class build to work in competitive format is always interesting to me, because I feel like the elite specs are some serious power creep. But those were the two big deals, is the death magic and tactics line changes.
Yeah, another one that I just reminded myself about with the Elementalist, they're continuing to mess with the Tempest. Most of it's all, not that big of a deal, but they are changing Harmonious Conduit. It's this trait no longer increases damage after completing an overload. Instead, it grants swiftness in addition to stability. It has also changed positions with Invigorating Torrents, which is interesting. Like, situationally, that could be really useful.
Well, that and Speedy Conduit got removed, which was the master minor trait.
Right.
Like, that's just gone. Except now it's up to 120 concentration plus another 120 if you're over 90% health.
Yes.
Which, okay, sure, great. That'll be fun. That's just here, have a crap ton of free concentration. I like the new the change to imbued melodies. Trait reworked, now Transcendent Tempest. This trait reduces the time it takes to attain singularity by 33% when switching elements, and increases outgoing damage and condition damage by 7% for 7 seconds after an overload completes. Which, attaining singularity is the amount of time between switching to an element and being able to overload that element.
Yes.
So knocking a third of that off of your timer, that's gonna be interesting for a lot of Tempest play. Gonna be a lot more time spent overloading and a lot less time, just spamming auto attacks out.
I might have to switch back to Tempest for a little bit and mess around with it.
I've never stopped playing Tempest, but that's just because I don't like Weaver.
Oh, Weaver's so much fun though.
I would need to devote time to actually get the rotations, and I just don't have that. So, but other than that, that's really all I'm seeing here. I don't know. What was it? Somebody was Hat was talking about more dumb Mesmer nerfs. I don't know. They seem to have just a few changes. The power break and power lock changes to respect line of sight. Use the wiki link? No, I'm going to use the forum link. Yeah. I know the wiki link has... Yeah, you see the icons and you can click the link to find out what the heck it is, but that's just what we had in the show notes, so forgive me. I'll remember to change that out in the future. The Illusion of Life, I'm not surprised to see that nerf.
Which one was that?
Illusion of Life is the one where you brought someone back up from downstate and they were invulnerable, and if they got a kill, it brought them back fully.
Oh, wow.
But people were invulnerable for 5 seconds after that.
Oh.
And the same change was made to Glyph of Renewal Fire for Elementalist, because it was basically the same buff.
Right.
Did it count as a rally? Or did it just bring them back up?
I would think it would count as a rally.
I don't know, Hat. I kind of like the change to Chaos Storm. Chaos Storm as the staff 5 for Mesmer. It now no longer dazes on its random ticks, but it is guaranteed to daze when you drop it.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I thought that was a good change for Chaos Storm, because now you have a guaranteed interrupt.
Well, you know when people will be dazed instead of just randomly
hoping that it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
CC is something you kind of want to have more control over.
Yeah, because you want to time that, usually.
Yeah.
Generally.
So honestly, despite the fact that, this is probably a nerf to a certain playstyle, I honestly think this is better for the health of the game, both from a balance standpoint and a playability standpoint. So
Boy, sorry.
there is no sleeping here. It's not permitted. It's a pretty beefy patch
Yeah.
notes set. So I'm looking forward to messing with that.
Like we said, Soul Beast is perfect and needs no changes.
I don't know her.
I still haven't unlocked that at all on my Ranger. I have the points. I could do it. I'm just like, eh.
You've just literally never taken the time to go into the menu to unlock Soul Beast.
Yep.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm just like, my Ranger at this point, I just have fun on her. I use her when I do.
You play core Ranger?
I do.
Okay.
I play core Ranger still.
I've never seen you play Druid.
And then bow on offhand. Yeah, no, I don't even think I unlocked Druid, come to think of it. Maybe I unlocked that.
Wow.
Oh, now I have to check.
Wow.
Because I just don't know.
Okay, then. So while she does that, we'll just roll right into the next topic. We're talking a lot about PvP, monthly tournaments, which aren't a thing, technically, because they keep getting canceled.
Yeah.
And the next monthly auto tournament has been canceled.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't even what broke. Do you remember? Because I don't even remember when this first started.
No, I don't remember at all what broke.
Because that's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it's got to be something major. Because
no TOL nor monthly AT until the Swiss update, probably. That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Because large scale update to the PvP system, like the Swiss tournaments.
I was wrong. I did fully unlock Druid, and I did put some points into Soul Beast.
Okay.
I just stopped. So, okay.
You have the points to finish. You should just click in to finish it.
No, I closed it now.
Oh, okay. Tournament of Legends. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm really not surprised. Oh, the yearly. Got it. I was unaware. I couldn't remember that we had a yearly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Looking at high-end PvP just doesn't interest me because I'm not going to get there.
I mean, I used to really enjoy watching it, back in 2015 and stuff when they were doing the tournaments and stuff like that. I had a lot of fun watching it. I know part of it was the people they had casting at that point, because they helped, even if you didn't know what was going on, it helped draw people in and stuff.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember trying to get into watching the PvP because I was doing 0 to Hero, and I remember watching a timeout where I think the highest score was a little over 200.
Wow.
And the casters got really excited when someone went down. It was during the super tanky Condi days of early Heart of Thorns, when it was Mesmers and Revenants all over the place.
Bunker everything.
Yeah, and it was just boring. So yes. I don't know. I can't wait. The fact that they're doing Swiss tournaments, that they are committed to that, that's good. It's good that they're committing resources into PvP. I hate to see that it is probably locking stuff up. Apparently they'll have an update on tournament status by Tuesday of next week.
Oh, okay.
The first. I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of back end stuff that needs to be done before they can really get into solving, or to really invest a lot of front end consumer visible time into PvP.
Right.
But speaking of investment, I don't know where I'm going with this. Guild Wars 2 Twitter team is launching a little bit of a Guild Wars 2 themed art thing for Inktober.
Yay!
So they threw out a like problem. PvP is a necessary investment. I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree that PvP is a necessary investment, but I think the biggest problem is a lot of their investment is not visible to the end consumer at the moment. Which is, it's necessary because you can't build on a bad foundation.
Yeah.
Which I believe back-end systems are the foundation of all of this. So, I mean, you're completely right, Cargon. It's 100% necessary investment, but they have to fix the back-end stuff before they can give us the front-end stuff.
Yep. Can I just say, when I saw this Inktober thing, the first thing I thought of was that it was about getting tattoos, and I was like, that seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. I mean,
get one tattoo every day. That
I don't know how much that would be expensive. Even if you're getting like minimal ones, like with the minimum of like $60, that's pretty expensive. October.
Yeah. But then my brain connected it and was like, oh.
Before we continue with Inktober, I do want to address Cargon. Being transparent is difficult in gaming.
Yes.
It is incredibly difficult because if you don't say what people want you to say, you get backlash. If you don't do what people want you to do, you get backlash. And when those things cannot be the same thing, that's what causes dev teams to clam up.
Yeah. And sometimes what people want you to do will be terrible for the game long term, because people more often than not want something that will help them in their specific situation, but they don't see the ramifications it would have on everything else.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though, Cargon, is if they talk to people and people still give them shit, the logical conclusion of that is people are going to give us shit whether we speak or don't speak. It's easier to not speak, keep our heads down, and work.
Right. I mean, on the one hand, like, it's less of a problem if, like, it's more of a problem when you say, hey, we're going to do this, and then something happens and you can't do it, and people get mad about it because, like, hey, you said this specific thing you were working on and now we're not getting it. Like, having a specific thing to throw at them is a big problem. It's one of the reasons why, like, the manifesto is something they've said it was a mistake when they did it, because that came back for years to bite them in the butt. So, like, it's better not to say anything and have people just annoyed you're not saying anything than giving them specific things to hit you with. It's, I wish they would be more open and honest about it, but I get the logic behind it.
Yeah. It just, is it better to have a discussion about it, honestly? I mean, that would be great, but it has been a long proven fact that it is very difficult to get an argument in a discussion in good faith from the masses of the internet.
Yeah. Even from, like, they say they have the best community, but even from Guild Wars 2 players.
Well, when we're talking specifically about PvP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will say the Guild Wars 2 PvP community is the best PvP community I've been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a PvP community.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Cargon, but that, again, is... Ow, sorry. It's a smaller sample size. Like, people on the forums, anytime I see something on Reddit, it's, like, literally the exact opposite of the forums.
Yeah.
More often than not, all the sentiment on Reddit is, quite honestly, rather angry and toxic.
Mm-hmm.
But... again, it's anecdotal because it's a small sample size, because I don't post on either, so it leads me to believe that there is a third silent group that is just like, okay, and then goes on with their day.
Yeah.
So them doing the balance change, like the past two WVW things, were like, we're thinking about doing this. What do y'all think? And then they did an update to that. And here's some changes from the last one. What do you think of this?
I love that they started doing that.
Well, this balance patch that's coming up next week there are changes in that, specifically the cleanse changes from those 2 rounds of, feedback on changes in this set of patch notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's I would have to dive onto the forums to really corroborate that statement.
Yeah.
Because as a forum moderator, not the Guild Wars 2 forum, but you very quickly, for banning anyone, gain a reputation of being a forum Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
I had a particularly bad one in the Paladin forums in the Wrath of the Lich King days on MMO Champion, because people seem to think that you can just insult other people.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is a tendency, it's not always the case, but there's a tendency for people to focus on what they said and not the way they said it.
Yes.
Because you can express a contrary opinion in general and it's fine. But if you're doing it in an aggressive or an attacking way, then that's where you start to run into problems often.
Yeah.
And like, what's attacking or aggressive can vary on point of view. Like that's just a thing. But
I would have to say you being banned, I mean, I would have to see the post that you made, because like one of the things we've always said about any kind of forum etiquette is it's not what you say, but how you say it that gets you banned. But that's getting a little into the weeds of stuff. We were talking about Inktober. I did link that.
yes.
I did think it was worth talking about the discussion about PvP. That's why we backtracked a little bit. But all of this stuff, for any kind of art contest, I always love seeing art come out of the Guild Wars 2 community. So this is cool that they're having this. And they're doing a test, or not a test, a contest for it. Cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what people do. Like, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And on top of art, I guess, as a quick segue into new clothing. Because, the art goes on the clothing. If you need a few new shirts and a hoodie, maybe.
The hoodie is amazing.
The hoodie looks pretty comfy.
Yeah. I'm not so excited about the shirts, like the shirt designs they have. I'm like, but I could see how some people would like some of them. Just none of them are my style, really. That hoodie, I'm like, I need that hoodie, please, now.
I don't know. I figured you'd be in for the shirt with the single quaggin. Before we continue talking, ArenaNet has partnered with a new clothing retailer, Insert Coin Clothing. And they have 3 new shirts and a hoodie available on their shop. I have linked that in chat. Deo does have a bit in here about too many retail outlets.
There are a lot.
They've got For Fans, By Fans, Wild Bangarang, Insert Coin. They all have... Oh no, my tab crashed. Restore this tab. The notes are too heavy. I'm more going to blame that on Google for the show notes than anything. But
yeah.
Wild Bangarang, For Fans, By Fans, Insert Coin. They all have different stuff.
Yep.
Does this cause confusion?
I mean, kind of. Like, especially with Insert Coin and not Wild Bangarang, For Fans, By Fans, because both of those you can get shirts and hoodies from. Which is kind of like, all right, so where do I get this shirt from? I can see how that would be confusing. Wild Bangarang is more like leggings and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think it stands out on its own more.
I think For Fans, By Fans is more crowdsourcey, though. So
yes.
you're honestly, For Fans, By Fans is probably going to have the largest number of designs available on it.
Yeah, I think For Fans, By Fans has a thing where artists can make a thing and submit it and get it approved and then sell it, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know what the process is for the other merchants, but you can't just log on to the website and submit a idea.
Yeah, basically. there's a process there, but I don't know. Like the announcing new merch every month. A lot of this stuff is months in advance.
Right.
Like Wild Bangarang, they floated the idea of doing this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been like Wild Bangarang was in the works for a while. I
Yeah.
remember the tweet going out when they're like, "Hey, would y'all want Guild Wars 2 stuff for the people who followed the Wild Bangarang account?"
Right.
Um, I'm not shocked that it's like it's just all kind of coming to a head right now.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Yep.
So I'm not super worried about this. I don't expect it to continue at this rate
No.
because I do think they're kind of hitting, critical mass on merch partners.
Right.
So I don't think that we'll see much more than this. But, if you'd rather not spend your money.
Next month, Jinx.
I mean, maybe. If you'd rather not spend your money with, For Fans, By Fans, Wild Bangarang, or Insert Coin, maybe you'd prefer to go with the Black Lion Trading Company. Hey, there's a segue that works.
Good job.
This week in the gem store.
Woo.
So, just avert your eyes. It's bright and it's flashy. It's the Mage Knight outfit.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a mariachi.
Yes.
Like maracas or something.
Yes.
Because
that's what it says to me more than mage. Seriously.
Yeah. The armor looks cool. The hat's a little much.
Yeah.
I want the gauntlets. Just the gauntlets and the boots.
Right.
I just want those.
It's an outfit, right?
Yeah, it's an outfit.
Yeah.
So you can get the Mage Knight outfit in the Mage Knight appearance package for 2,000 gems. It contains the Mage Knight outfit, which by itself is 700. The Citadel Assault Glider and Backpack combo for which is 700 by itself. We'll be looking at that in a bit. A choice from the Onyx and Gold Lion Weapons kit, and another Total Makeover kit. Final Fantasy Cargon. I dig it. See now, hat. The one thing that I look at the hat right now in the blog post image that they set up. That it looks kind of nuts. However, with this image about what the dye channels are. Now, the first three images clearly super garish colors to show you the dye channels for everything. The Shadow Abyss in all slots, it looks like something out of Bloodborne.
It does. That actually looks pretty good.
No, it literally looks like a Bloodborne armor set.
Yeah.
But
that shows really well how the dyes changes with the different materials.
Yeah. And I look at the stuff from the blog post and I'm like, who went with that angle? Like who shot that low angle and thought that was like
well, they probably were like, you can't see their faces.
You're not like with a hat like that. You're not supposed to see the face. Like that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it. The armor, I like all outfits. I just find myself looking at it and saying, I want pieces of it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that invariably happens. Well, no, I can't say that. Never mind.
Can't say what?
I was going to say I've bought a few outfits here and there, but I've never used it. But I do occasionally use them on my Elementalist, which is my character I play the most in general because I do Living Story and all of that stuff with her. But occasionally I'll want to change her look, but I don't feel like going through all the armor, so I just throw on a different outfit and dye it, and that's nice. Yep.
Yeah. I always like using outfits for leveling a character because I'm not going to spend all the time doing transmog stuff on gear that I'm just going to change.
I think that's the area that outfits really excel.
Yeah, definitely. Now, part of this, we had we were talking about the glider. Oop, wait, that's on the window. We go over here. So this new glider, the Citadel glider. It looks really cool. Hang on, gotta grab the notes over here. Okay. We have this video courtesy of Senieth. Again, you know, we have the problem of the glider changing colors because backpack versus glider. But
this is a really awesome one, though.
Like, the animations are solid. Here, you can take a look at the die channels.
I really like how it goes out, like, with a funk, and, like, the jets go, and you're like, ah! Like, it's cool.
Yeah. Like, that's some solid animation.
Mm-hmm. I really, really need somebody to work on making dyeing your back piece transfer, or your glider transfer to your back piece.
Yeah.
Really need that.
Yeah, that would be really nice, because hitting dye remover every single time I put on a glider so I can get the default colors every single time, it's just like, if any, like, I don't need, you know, a new thing. I just need it so that if the glider skin matches the backpack skin, just take the glider colors and shunt them over, because clearly it proves that you can change the color of this model because it's the same model. So I don't know, I kind of dig the banding on the color. The die channels I think are pretty solid. So, but I'm just gonna go back to that one. So, what do you think?
I would probably pick up the glider, but again, I'd be too annoyed by the changing, and I wouldn't want to keep it the default colors, so I'm not going to bother.
I think the only one I've decided to do that is the Iron Legion jetpack. Just because all of my char are going to use it, and it's kind of going for uniform things, since I have them all in the same warband, so to speak. But I can't say I'd go for the outfit, because again, I don't like the whole thing, and that's all or nothing, because outfit, but you can hide the helm. I would love to just have the boots and the gloves, because those look freaking awesome, but I can't have that. Oh well. But we do have a few things returning. The Shimmerwing Skyscale skin for 2,000 gems. I think that's the Hummingbird Sky... No, Skyscale. No. Sorry, no, that's the fairy dragon looking thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So that came back. That's, honestly, I think that's one of the most popular 2K mount skins.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of no longer available items, so I'm not going to... We had the Black Lion Hunters contract, the Season 3 Expedition contract, and the Branded Mounts pack, and the Infinite Volatile Magic Gathering tools are all listed as no longer available in the notes. So, sadly, missed out on those. But the Season 4 Expedition contract is still available for 1,000 gems.
Hey, I managed not to buy the set of Volatile Magic tools. Are you proud of me?
It wasn't another set of musical instruments, so.
Yeah. Oh.
Finally, there are some items on sale, not just for sale. The Runecrafter's Salvage-O-Matic, which is normally 600 gems. It's on sale for 480, so 20% off. And also, and I highly recommend, if you don't already have it, to grab this, the Silver-Fed Salvage-O-Matic for 350 gems, which is normally 500. It's 30% off. The Silver-Fed Salvage-O-Matic is the same as a Master salvage kit. It costs 70 copper a use for it.
Copper, not silver, QED says.
Oh, it's the copper-fed Salvage-O-Matic? Huh. It's saying... Now I have to verify in-game. They're both on sale. Oh, well, I will verify this quickly. Not that I don't believe QED, but, you know, have to do due diligence as, you know, reporting.
He says silver is not worth it, apparently.
I want it just so I don't have to keep buying salvage kits. But that's me. I salvage everything because I kind of have a solo self-found personal restriction that I put on myself for the game.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I salvage everything too.
Silverfed is there for 350. Runecrafter is there for 480. Copper is not under promotions. Copperfed Salvage-O-Matic is available, but it's 800 gems.
Oh, okay.
So we were just talking about sale stuff, QED. Is the Runecrafters and the Silverfed are on sale. Like actual sale.
Oh, the branded packs are still there, and the volatile magic tools are still there.
Well, then they're still there. Wow.
They haven't gone away yet.
Well, they might not be gone. Well, maybe the no longer available is for the people on YouTube. Some of these things might be gone by tomorrow.
Right.
But honestly, buying the copper and silver-fed Salvage-O-Matics personally were things that I was really happy that I ended up doing. Just because I no longer have to worry about going to get salvage kits. Because I'll use the copper-fed for masterwork and below, and then I'll use the silver-fed for rares, and then I've got I'm Mystic Toilet Gambling for precursors on my exotics, and then for armor I'll just... Yes, Zekriox, the Mariachi Wizard. We were talking about that. We don't have a proper instrument item for that, though. The guitar doesn't quite fit, because it's a char-based guitar. But, and then I think I use Black Lion Salvage Kits for exotics, because I just have a billion of them just sitting in my bank. But getting the copper and silver fed Salvage-O-Matics on sale is a great pickup.
Yeah, I usually just use the Mystic kits.
Yeah, but I usually forget to make those for myself.
I see.
Yeah, that's on me. That's all. That's all my fault. But I don't know. So is there any, are since you found out that the infinite volatile magic gathering tools are still there, are you still gonna have to resist?
No, I'm not gonna get them. I still want the Sky Scale tools though. Those are cool.
Did they have those in a bundle or no?
I don't think they were in a bundle. That was one of the things that was holding me off from getting them.
Just you're in it for the bundle.
Well, it's just more like I'm trying to be smart about money and not spend it on things I don't really need, and you know. Like
your 8th set of infinite gathering tools?
Yeah. Considering I only tend to play 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 characters.
Yeah, that's pushing it a little bit, but hey, you like the game, so
yep.
I guess you're supporting the game you like. But speaking of support, you can do that in more ways than monetary, especially with stuff in Community Corner.
Yay!
Yay! Chronicles of Tyria, the summer short stories.
Yay!
Yay! Get the link. I can words.
Winky, winky.
There's the link. Every week until October 19th, the Guild Wars 2 community writer will publish a Guild Wars 2 short story on their website.
Woo!
Yay stuff. Reading stuff is always fun. And then, Gamers Giving Back, Pink Day in LA. Volunteer meeting on Saturday, September 28th. So, 12 p.m. CDT, 19 CS. Oh, so that's 7 o'clock. So that's an hour and a half from now.
Okay.
On TeamSpeak. Wow, TeamSpeak. That's I'm gonna grab their tweet about that. So we're gonna drop that here in chat. Honestly, the fact that Pink Day in LA keeps happening is phenomenal. That it's kept going all the way from Guild Wars 1 is impressive to me.
Yep.
And it's always nice to see every year that it's coming back.
Yep. It's awesome.
Also, Beetle Champions League. Hang on a second. Awesome. Beetle Champions League. The first ever Beetle Race Festival will be taking place channel your inner Fast and Furious and take part in Battle Efficiency's Beetle Champions League. So the BCL is a beetle racing league that is being formed by the community.
Awesome.
Here is the Reddit post. Battle Efficiency is proud to announce a brand new initiative combining both custom-made Guildhall racetracks and the in-game beetle races created by ArenaNet. You can take place in one of 4 qualifying races on the October 5th, 6th, 12th, and 13th. The rewards, maybe earn some gems and placement into the final race. The final race is on the 19th of October.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could... Actually, I could queue up the trailer. Give me half a second. The final race is on October 19th on a custom track that they made. The reward is a legendary.
Ooh.
Give me a second. Trailer? I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, it's only 1:30. That's fine. Did I close? No, I didn't close that window. We're gonna go paste and go. We're gonna pop that. Nope. Stop playing. I said stop. Fucking YouTube. Side panel. Get rid of the mariachi night. Go. If they have music, I'm sorry it's not here. Oh, it is sponsored. Cool.
Yay. Yeah, I just think it's a really awesome concept, you know?
Yeah. God. Setting up these arenas must have been really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because getting the placement of items in
Right.
in the Guildhall build mode, it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, it's not straightforward.
Not at all. Makes me wish that there was a kind of like, oh, I like that loop. You can drift that whole thing.
That is awesome.
Oh, someone didn't manage to skip the water enough.
I have to imagine making this video is probably fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, fire ring.
Yeah, this is cool. 13k gems and prizes. Hang on, we're gonna have to back up on that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. 13k gems and prizes, 3 legendaries for the first 3 competitors, and 4 ascended Aurene clothing outfits.
Nice.
I'm really impressed with that track. Like that looks cool. They definitely built some impressive. See, this is why I keep harping on wanting the a Dragon's Watch Guildhall. Because I feel like they don't have enough stuff to showcase the Guildhall tech.
Right.
Although it's fantastic that this is sponsored, so I'm hoping that, you know, covers of this like will get taken care of, but
Yay.
okay. So, going on from that, we don't have any more trailers. However, we do have the Guild Wars 1 Bill turnout, the Guild Wars 1 Bill event. This is a community event in Guild Wars 1 for celebrating Bill Freist's work.
Oh.
I believe he was a Guild Wars 1 developer.
Yeah, he was a programmer.
Yeah. And apparently he responded.
Oh.
So, give me one second. It's a really big. I'm just gonna post this because I'm not gonna. That's several paragraphs of his response, but
oh, that's awesome though.
It's cool that people feel like I don't want to say rewarded is the right word for it, but like you throw a celebration for someone's work and they're like, "Hey, I see you. Thank you." That's nice to see.
Well, I mean, especially since they were like celebrating the work that he did, it was really nice of him to say, "Hey, thanks."
Yeah. Oh no.
Hmm.
So there is a little bit of spoiler stuff here at the end here. Um, Particularly dealing with Grothmar Valley.
Mm.
Something outside of the Blood Legion Keep.
Oh.
Um, I'm going to go ahead and drop this in chat. I don't have a spoiler tag available at the moment, but like, this is quick. So there's the link. There's some big ass paw prints just outside
Oh yeah.
Bangar Ruinbringer's window. And there are speculations about who it just might be.
Ari.
No. But
Aw.
God dang it.
she was climbing things. But Bone Skinner is ready.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's where they're going with because of these giant paw prints, but like if this is supposed to be some kind of envoy of Jormag or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. So having just since we're in a little bit of spoiler territory, do I have a spoiler tag? I literally don't. I never created it.
Tut tut.
What do you think about the prologue?
I enjoyed it mostly. I had fun with it. I think they did a good job of like having just a lot of ambient dialogue as you were going through things, like really setting the mood for everything. It actually was more, it had more stuff in it than I was expecting for a prologue, to be honest.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It did give us a lot. Like I was expecting maybe one instance and a bunch of, out in the world story stuff, not
Right.
the several instances we got. And
And the
you're right,
map.
the ambient dialogue, like the number of times we were running around and Krista would just stop and I'd be like, she's just like, I'm listening to people, give me a second.
Yep.
Really, I really think the ambient dialogue ratcheted up the tension between the legions and between the Char and everyone else kind of going on.
Yeah.
Um,
I really liked the whole thing with like the Flame Legion cubs and all of that, and the Flame Legion women, and like the issues of them coming into the Char and like melding with them and melding the cultures was really interesting to me.
it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I feel like we were talking, me and my wife were talking about this the whole time. Bangar is probably already Jormagged,
Yeah,
just not externally. So it's basically we've got the most ferocious of the Char warriors who are the angriest at the rest of the world are now being walked right into the claws of an active dragon.
right.
And we all
Who
know
everybody thinks is sleeping.
Yeah, and we all know what's going to happen there.
World peace.
Yes. I also kind of like this idea that people somehow think that the commander has some kind of control over Aurene.
Yeah, that was really funny to me. Like, because I never considered that as a possibility. Like, it makes total sense. I understand why people think that, but I never thought of it as like a thing that people would think. So it was awesome.
Yeah, but I think that's about all we have time for today. So, Arlie, where can they find you?
Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Arlie82.
And you can find me on Twitter at MelthanisMMO. You can also find me here on twitch.tv/MAADrealms. That's 2 ways in the MAAD every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, ostensibly, when I'm not dying from the flu. For random stuff, a lot of Guild Wars 2 stuff, a lot of other games from time to time. Was playing Dauntless a bit ago. Need to check that out since they're in release now.
Oh, I'm reviewing that, so we should play.
Okay, well, just let me know when, and then we can certainly join up with you for hunts and stuff. So, but this channel is live on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern for Talking Skritt, our weekly Guild Wars 2 news podcast. This will go live tomorrow on YouTube at noon-ish EST for the YouTube audience. And I think that'll be it. Follow us on Twitter at Mad Realms.
Yay!
We also have Via the Void, which is bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 7 or 8 Eastern with Deo and Age. Age is enjoying some newfound fame in the Warframe community after he got retweeted by the official Warframe account. So that was fun to watch that tweet blow up. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.